Let's say that was 13 living legends. Mauler versus the Screamer Behemoth. This is all I ever wanted in life. Look at that Mauler. Now, I don't think Mauler facing Mauler dies that fast. Titan Slayer there on the Mauler. Howdy, it is I, Junk, back again after a month. Sorry for that long delay there. And I'm here to show the bot that is by far the thing that has been most requested of me ever. I think because people know I'm a Behemoth fan, the Screamer Behemoth. So let's take a quick look at the build, then we're going to play the games first, because people don't listen. People drop off when I talk too much at the beginning. Lessons learned. We're not going to do that this time. We have 2 immune amps, 1 nuclear amp. Obviously, we've got the 2 sports screamers that are always deployed, 2 standard screamers when we unfold the weapons. Here is the build, which will also be in the description below. And yeah, let's just get right into it. Alright. Here on the carrier, and it takes me a little while to drop in here. And it was because I had just gone through a game on the carrier, and I had 2 people who were glitched. 2. And kept playing anyway. And we won, but the game was immensely difficult. And I was just like, am I going to have to go through this again? Am I going to find 2 more bugged people who decide to cheat and exploit rather than actually play the game fairly because they're that trash as human beings? So it took me a minute to decide, alright, I will drop in. And I'm sure my teammates right now are cursing me, and all I can say is, relax, guys. My lack of punctuality is really the only complaint you should have today. But we are going to start off right here with the man of the hour, the Ardent Behemoth. With the screamers, we got the 2 sports screamers up front on, strapped to the back, coming now to the front of the 2 standard screamers. 500 meter range, and it hits like 2 condors. Now I also have the seeker drone, so I can see through stealth within 350 meters. And enemy Ocho decides to stand in our secondary, take him out before he can make the cap. And we see another Ocho decides to run in, get the double kill. My friendly teammate Raptor jumping towards me to make the save, but Ocho is already scrapped. As I was saying, we've got the unstable conduit now to shoot through shields. So, shoot through shields, see through stealth, and hit a little bit harder than 2 condors. Feather Destrier, getting brave, thinks his in-flight shield is going to save him. It does not, and there's the triple kill. Now, these weapons will charge up the mothership quickly. I have a durability extender on the mothership, so that will keep me alive. I'm drifting here towards our secondary. I don't want to fully commit, but unfortunately, I kind of slip. Womp womp. Get the rampage there. And godlike. I think there's a duo here. See, there's a Raptor jumping in, but these things are hitting hard. Raptor's top pops off. Raptor pops the bubble for Beyond Godlike. And let's get back up top, because I can't really... I don't have the range of things I'd like to see. Oh, there's a Nightingale who, coming into my into my seeker range, discovers I can see him. There's Living Legend. That's 1. Ravana down here trying to get the secondary. Living Legend 2. Got to recap that though. Whoa. Another Feather Destrier. Living Legend 3. Oh, and my nuke amp is loaded up. I know you were worried I wasn't hitting hard enough, so no worries. Now the nuke amp is loaded up. We can start actually doing some damage. What is that, a Fenrir? Living Legend 4. Ophion. Let's make sure we're shooting through shields. Living Legend 5. What else we got? Saw Prismus hit me and then bounce off. That's the Seeker drone. So to really shoot at this thing, you can't be too far away, and you surely don't want to be too close. If you can stay between 500 and 600 meters, maybe you got a shot. Just drift over, change position here. Imuji coming for the secondary, Living Legend number 6. Let's see. I'm trying to get to a place where I can shoot into center, but I see we're getting a lot of opposition over here. And there's a Skyros, Living Legend number 7. Dagon trying to weave in and out, and it's just not working out for him. Living Legend number 8. Now what do we got going on in the center? I see some Titan activity. I'm just going to stay in the Behemoth for right now because I'm going to just say this counts as a Titan. I'm a designated Titan right now. So this and the Ultimate Fender are designated Titans. Try to put some damage on the Rook. Rook just ducked down. Raptor. Living Legend number 9. I'm sure the Raptor's confused. I saw a Rook going over my shoulder. We've got a Luchador in center. So you can shoot into Luchador Reflector, it doesn't hurt so badly. Immune Amp's loaded up, so they won't be slowing me down now. Now the Luchador jumps into cover here. I think I can thread the needle if I just get between these two things properly. Titan Slayer, does that count as Living Legend 10? Let's say it does for the sake of argument right now. Now I see a Skyros. Minos over there. I gotta deal with this. There's a Skyros and something else coming over here to the secondary. So I see one half of that duo. Oh, there's that Rook. I forgot about him. Oh, it's a Weather Chicken. Living Legend number 11, let's say. Ooh, but the Skyros got past me, so I'm gonna have to slowly shuffle my way down here and deal with the Skyros. And that's gonna be an expensive mistake. Living Legend 12. Finally, I can do something to this Rook. I've had my eye on you. You got past me. Rook decides he's gonna bravely live to fight another day, but he doesn't go nearly far enough to make that work. And Titan Slayer, is that a Living Legend too? We're gonna count that? No, we'll say it was 12 Living Legends, and then we'll start over here with a Titan Slayer. Actually, no, I think we do count that because I remember now something. Well, I'll take when we get there. I'll point it out. Let's say that was 13 Living Legends. Mauler versus the Screamer Behemoth. This is all I ever wanted in life. Look at that Mauler. Now, I don't think Mauler facing Mauler dies that fast. Titan Slayer there on the Mauler. And kudos to my brave teammate in the Newton dropping into what he thought was to fight a Mauler. That is some courage. I deeply appreciate that. But I think what we get next is a double kill, so that must mean 13 Living Legends, and then that Titan Slayer was a kill. Muji phases, wise but insufficient, and we get a double kill. So, yeah, that's why I'm saying 13 Living Legends, and then we start counting again. Curie, way too brave, triple kill. So at this point, I think the game is sort of under control. They do have quite the beacon bar advantage. We have a beacon advantage. And can't get enough damage to get the Rampage on the Emoji. Can I get the Rampage at all? I don't remember. Looks like we got a Rampage on a Shell. As I'm just kind of walking towards their beacon, and I kind of want to drop my Titan before the game is fully over. Godlike on the Emoji. You know, Godlike is a pretty good kill streak, especially if you just had a 13-time Living Legend before it. And that's game number 1. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. Again, I'm sorry for dropping in like 40 seconds late, but anyone who wants to complain, leave it in the comments section, I suppose. 10.1 million, 0 assists, only 1 beacon, and 24 kills against a duo. That's what I would call hot-shotting. You know, hot-shotting when you mech because you're pushing too hard. Stole that from wrestling terms. We can talk about it later. But yeah, let's take a look at the next match. Ooh, Canyon. See, this is not necessarily my favorite place with this kind of a hangar. I really don't have anything past medium range, and there's a lot of open space, so the Behemoth is kind of a sitting duck in a lot of cases. So we're going to open with the Condor instead. I see an enemy Condor piloted by Hot Sauce over there. Pay attention to him, because Hot Sauce becomes important in this game. I mean, Hot Sauce is important all the time. Hot Sauce is great. Orochi coming to their secondary because the Hot Sauce overshot it in his Condor. Get the kill, and I'm trying to aim for that Crisis, but I start taking damage in the back from Hot Sauce. So I've got that pilot skill. As soon as he does 50% damage, my skill recharges, so I go back up into the air. And I'm turning around to let him shoot my shield, let him heal me up a little bit. And I'm not really so interested in shooting him at first, till I see other people are shooting him and we break the shield. Double kill. So good on getting rid of the Condor, bad on he has team support. Now, I would be upset, but I look at the beacons. The enemy has no beacons right now. If my teammates want to ignore me to get all the other beacons, I'm totally fine with that. Let them, you know, I don't need the help. Just go do. Now, if they ignore me and they don't get beacons, then I'm very salty. So I just shot through a Condor. Shield's right there. Shooting at the Condor in flight is generally a bad idea. If you can break the shield and do enough damage to take it out, then that's okay. You generally can't do that, but I'm piloting the highest damage bot I think I've ever used. So I would say shooting at a Condor in flight, it's like driving with your girlfriend in your lap. It's not a good idea. It's not safe, but it is fun when it works. Alright, I think, yeah, there's an emoji in flight. And Ultimate Fenrir gives me the double kill. I've never seen anything melt an Ultimate Fenrir like this. Ooh, taking some range damage. I'm thinking those are Reapers. So the Condor, I start doing some damage to it, but Hot Sauce is not your average player. He backs up to 500, so I can't hit him. Take off the head of the emoji and a triple kill. And right now, this looks like a pretty 50-50 game. I'm starting to feel good about it. Precisely because I know they're going to drop in at A. And that's going to give me something to shoot at. Weather Chicken there. The Siren gives me the Rampage. And yeah, I think he's already used his phase, so the Angler here gives me the Godlike. Curie drops in. And that gives me the Beyond Godlike. Weird timing there on the message coming up and everything, but whatever. So now I'm feeling even slightly better than better. Unfortunately, I have to do my least favorite thing, an actual exercise. I managed to take out that Crisis for the Living Legend. You didn't think I was going to not get a Living Legend this game, did you? Alright, let's fold them up and jog over. Huffing and puffing. Condor does some damage to me, but as soon as he realizes I'm shooting back, he decides to switch targets and back up. My friendly Raptor's chasing after the Condor. I'm going to walk to see if I can put some damage on that Luchador. And the Luchador's looking around like, what is hitting me? I don't blame you, man. I'm a little surprised, too, at how hard this actually hits. I mean, I don't know what I expected, but... Ooh, Erebus just evaporates. Erebus didn't even see me. He just thought about me. And the thought, like my imaginary vision of me, blew him up from the inside. I'm just going to walk carefully. I don't want to unfold, because the reason I'm not unfolding more is that because of the pilot skill, there's, I believe, 55 defense points for staying unfolded. So you don't want to fold up if you can avoid it. Another Living Legend on what I think was an Ocho, and this is going to be on a Mars. And uh-oh. Eiffel manages to get enough damage into me, so 2 of my weapons snap off. Still, nice job, Behemoth, and I think I need to drop the Mauler in center. Let's take care of this little Rook problem. Recap the beacon, and then we're going to head over to their beacon. See who wants to contest it with me. If they work together, that might be a way to try it, but my guess is, yeah, I didn't expect them to want to mix it up like that. So they're probably going to go head over to the far beacon, and then it's a question of, like, how much cardio can I do? Can I dash fast enough to get over there? Murimitz knows what I'm up to, and so as soon as he goes up, I hit the Dark Light, and I'm trying to do some damage to the Curie. The Curie's scarier than the Murimitz. Curie overshoots the beacon to maybe get away, I don't know, but it doesn't work. Titan Slayer on that, and now the Murimitz, does he get up to be a Pinata? Or does he, no. The candy's all over the ground. Titan Slayer on the Murimitz. So it seems like Beacon B is where the action is, and I can see now, oh, this is rough for them. The moonwalking Mauler. And it's like, I feel like weirdly sympathetic, but also you gotta do what I gotta do. Sorry, man. I see, like, the Typhon is just here. You know, your weapons have a range to them. You don't actually have to... This is closer than you want to be to a Mauler in general. Let's just express that. Okay, I see they've got a Condor going to their beacon. I have to say, kudos to them for being a man down with that Mauler disconnecting and still being competitive this late. So they got the Nether and they got the Condor. I'm going to slide over. And that's Hot Sauce. Hot Sauce, the master of Condors today. The Mauler is just a little too wide. So you gotta go through some of those gaps like this one and the houses on farm. It's just making me feel some kind of way trying to squeeze through the buildings, and I don't love it. Just a little... Just skip shoulder day one day. So this is slightly petty, but also, you know, this is the game. I draw my own Condor to stop Hot Sauce from capping this far beacon. Because isn't it nicer? Like, look how nice and blue all the beacons look. Isn't that an improvement? And time's about up, so, you know, there's no reason not to shoot. We're not going to be on the ground to finish this off. Let's take a look at scores. I'm going to have me sip a tea, as I am wont to do. 10.8, 1 assist, 19 kills, 6 caps. Hot Sauce and I had the same damage score, pretty close on beacons. I had slightly more kills. I'll give you that. All right, Castle. Let's go right into it. Although, here's an interesting thing about Castle. And 500 meters is a little bit of a tricky range on Castle. It's because the top beacons are about 600-ish meters apart, give or take. But the side beacons are 350, maybe 400 meters from the bridge. I'm probably off by, you know, 50 meters one way or the other, but that's generally it. So 500 meters can be tricky on top because you can actually get ranged on top. Whereas from this second beacon, this lower beacon, you can shoot into center more effectively. And shoot on the bridge with 500. Gyros comes in, trying to be sneaky. Not going to happen for the first kill. And they are coming hard for our beacon here. They've got the Dagon, the Curie, the Raptor, and an... Is that an Ocho? Yeah, an Ocho. First order of business, I'm trying to knock everybody down to their last stands. Because let's just... And the first step in getting rid of them is to get all those last stands out of the way. And Curie goes first for the double kill. I'm sure the Ocho, he runs away. Dagon is coming in, so Dagon can be the triple kill. Raptor is next in line for the Rampage. There goes our Ocho friend. Come on. Godlike, there you go. And friendly Emoji starts with the beacon. They drop in the Revenant down to the last stand. Oh, my new camp is loaded up, that's good for me. Beyond Godlike on the Revenant. And that Path... Oh, no, it's not a Pathfinder, sorry. That's another Raptor. Raptor for the Living Legend. Shocking, another Living Legend. I know you couldn't see that one coming. Alright, so now we're on the lower beacon. We can shoot, yeah, like I said, 350, 400 into center. Looks like an Ultimate Fenrir, which is... I think it's a regular Fenrir. Even for... That was pretty smushy even for these Screamers. So, Ocho versus Ocho fight, and I'm going to help my teammate with this Ocho issue. I'm taking damage from what I'm guessing are Dune. But enemy Luchador is jumping in. Now you saw there was the Prisma Crisis over there who shot me. The Seeker drone kicked in and messed up his aim. But has a cooldown, so I'm getting into a little bit of cover to mess with him. They're doing decent bits of damage to me, but I'm loading up my mothership pretty good and healing up from it. As soon as that shield is down, let's capitalize on the Luchador. Luchador is getting himself a bit of cover. Healing up. Prisma Crisis can't seem to get the idea that that's just not going to work. And now there's so much commitment to the bridge, I'm concerned that so I'm going to start looking up towards the top. And I think I saw we had a teammate up there who was contesting, and they're going to start coming across the bridge, so let us punish that to the extent we can. Enemy Eiffel goes up. And this is just bad play on my part. I adjusted my grip right here. So I missed I missed that shot. That might have taken out the Eiffel and saved us all a little bit of a headache. And I'm getting real tired of getting hit with those Dune. But I don't have time to worry about it, because here comes that enemy Luchador. Very convenient. It'll be much easier to shoot you up close. The Titan Slayer, you see the durability extender there working again. Keeping me healthy. So now looking at the situation, we only have 2 beacons, but we've got 2 guys, including a Bedwear, who are going across that bridge. I'm going to go refocus on our top beacon here. Double killing what I think was a Raptor. Sorry, I saw it, I just didn't remember it. And I kind of want to get up there, but I, you know, don't want to unfold until I'm fairly sure that I'm not being targeted by range right now. Which, fortunately, my teammates got over there in enough time to distract them. Enemy Ocho pushes me all the way back. It's like watching a turtle, you know, crawl slowly up the beach and you just roll it all the way back. That's just cruel. Triple kill there. On what it looks like a Shenlu. Ocho and Minos having a push-off. It's okay, let's get that Ocho down to his last stand. Second Ocho is just fleeing. I shouldn't say fleeing, that's Captain Skull, he's an OG, so... And I just now dimly realize, oh, actually, those Titans are a problem up there. That's okay, let's have Mauler handle his business. First of all, no, you can't have that beacon. Second of all, oh man, okay, Bursalieri and an Ultimate Ao Ming. Well, I decided I'm gonna deal with the Bursalieri first because that is a very dangerous robot to leave unattended. My teammate takes out the Ultimate Ao Ming and kill steals, flash assists me on the Bursalieri. You know, it's the fog of war, and hey, man. As if I were innocent here. Let he who is without kill steal cast the first accusation. Here he comes, that rook comes in a huge here. I'm slowly walking across this bridge because it only takes one bad dash to trash your Mauler across that bridge. So you want to be really careful that you're not falling off the bridge either way. Obviously, especially not to the right, but either way. Meanwhile, Rook dives in, gets the kill, and starts the beacon flipping, and now we've got a 5 cap. So, feeling pretty good about this game right now. Let's, put a little damage here on that guy. Can I get any damage on the Shenlu? Anything? Anything? No. This is a this Mauler killed. That's not true. I guess I killed the one Ocho. I'm saying almost a pacifist Mauler run, but no, I got the one kill on the Ocho. So, beacon control. Another example of people trying to hotshot. They're just gonna, like, zerg and completely misunderstanding the nature of the situation. Only a second place, though. I question the honor. Like, check out the rewards and then check out the honor. It's like, is it, though? Is it, though? Was I second place, though? But whatever. Next. One more game. Oh, Valley. Valley's tough. Valley is tough because there's so many open places where people can shoot at you from. So my strategy for something like this where I just have nearly no mobility, I got a little. I want to get towards center. And I want to stay where I can move on either side of a door. So if they come press me in the middle, I can pull out and go around the corner. If they come around the corner, I can duck over there and shoot in that direction. Orochi. Only get an assist on the Orochi. Let's see who wants to come through this tunnel now. Enemy Curie. Can't quite get the Curie. So I'm just going to back up a little bit. Is that a... What am I shooting at there? I see Ocho Kochi. Is that a shell? Oh man, that Curie came back for round 2. And they got me down a decent bit of the way. Double kill there on what I think was a shell. And you see that little red arrow on the top right of the screen? Yeah, that means there's someone over there. That's how that works. So, following that arrow, I managed to get the triple kill on that Curie. Fellow Behemoth for the rampage. And you can see here, I'm just kind of like not really committing to being in or out. I'm sort of ducking around the corner, using it for cover when I need to use it for cover, when I'm not sure, heading that direction. Oh, it's just a Lynx. Just a Lynx. Godlike for the Lynx. Looking around, like, is it safe to get a little bit further in? Enemy Mender. You know, phase shift is a little overused, because, you know, that's kind of the result. Beyond Godlike there on the Mender. I think that was a raptor, I guess, who was jumping in and out. Let's see. It's enemy Skyros. For the Living Legend. Shocking. Oh, and the second Living Legend. I don't know what the second one even was. But now I got a mothership chasing me, so I have to move. So I guess that's the wisdom of the Beholder mothership, that it forces you to move around a little bit. Trying to shoot this guy a little bit on the corner, but he also knows how to get into cover behind a wall. So that didn't totally work. Sticks his head out. That's good enough for me. Another Living Legend. So we only have 2 beacons. I find that a little strange, but I also see I've got a teammate who's really pushing these guys back towards their hill. Get a couple more living legends off of that, clean them out. So I'm gonna turn and go back, and then I get shot in the back. And then they snap a weapon off of me. So I say, okay, maybe this part of the game is over. And then I see, okay, when I go to ditch because I was damaged, I was gonna get a new robot, I see that this beacon's being contested. I'm sorry, I have no sympathy for you, Mr. Crisis. We were losing the beacon. If you aren't standing on the beacon, I don't need you to be alive. Okay. So this is a great rock and hard place thing. We've got a Condor being pushed into the corner by the Ultimate Fenrir. And the Condor's ability and the new weapons will hurt the Ultimate Fenrir, but I don't think he's using them. I think aren't those freeze artillery weapons? Well, anyway, the strategy here is I'll shoot at him when he's on the ground. When he goes up, I'm going to stop, but my teammate doesn't need to because he can execute him. So, good teamwork there on the friendly links. Can't get that enemy into range to take any shots at him. Just walk towards center. These guys are putting up quite a fight, I will say. Like, I'm surprised we haven't had any better beacon dominance than this. There's the enemy Raptor sides. It's not worth hanging out here. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. He's going to move out of the way. Get the assist on that. And an Ultimate Destroyer, I guess? I think. Yeah, Ultimate Destroyer. So I'm going to go try to contest it, because what we need are beacons, number one, but I also need them to be interested in saving their own beacons and not contesting the other ones we've got. So I'm going to walk myself over. I'm taking a huge amount of damage from that Condor. The Condor weapon really hurts. I don't know if it's meant to bypass damage resistance type things, but it clearly is. It's like it's hurting more than most Titan weapons. So that, if that's not an accident, then the tuning is kind of ridiculous. My last stand already gone, but I did manage to flip the beacon, which has managed to at least distract some of them. And I'm shooting at that Mirror because I can actually do some damage to it. This Condor, though, not gonna have it. From the Department of Questionable Ideas, I decide this is the right time to drop a Bagliori. And that doesn't go super well. Yeah, so maybe should have gone with the Mauler. Okay, I've got 2 teammates there, Beacon B, who are gonna flip it, right? I can see them getting close to flip it. I don't know what is approaching them, but I think that's perfect because I can go to Beacon D. Turns out all that, just a Demeter. I can't believe I dropped a Mauler on a Demeter. That seems unnecessary. That seems excessive. Okay. Enemy Condor here is the meat and a Mauler sandwich. Decides, nah, that's not what I want to do. So I decide I'm gonna go contest their home. I see we've got a friendly Sky Roast doing that. Enemy Harpy goes up. A little Weather Chicken action. Weather Chicken, he's thinking about staying up there, decides, nah, I better teleport back. I hope you don't think that was over, because you may be a Weather Chicken, but I'm the Colonel. Double kill. Rook dancing with the Skyros realizes far too late that this is not the place to be for the Titan Slayer. Now we're finally asserting some actual control of the game. Before it was just very much like everybody keeping their head above water, but now I think we've actually kind of got a handle on this. There is that Condor that has been just a real thorn on everyone's side. Backs up, realizing this is not a safe place to shoot in center. I put up my Dark Light, so I take less damage. He decides, well, if you're taking less damage, I'm going to shoot at someone else. So I'm just going to chase him. And this is the second time our friend Condor is going to find himself in a sandwich. Because I'm chasing him. He decides to duck in towards center, but then there's a friendly Mauler at center. So he can't go in and he can't go out, which leaves him indecisive for long enough to get on top of him and get the kill. Another Weather Chicken? Why do you people keep running these Weather Chickens? You like tickling people? But that's a victory. That's our 4th win there. Check out the scores. $9.7 million, 4 assists, 16 kills, and 5 beacons captured. A pretty solid game, I think, by any measure. Alright. Let's go back to the hangar and talk a little bit. that is the Screamer Behemoth. I am obviously a fan, and I think many people will be. It is the nature of heavy weapons in this game that when they overtune the new weapons, anything that can hold 4 of the overtuned heavy weapons is going to be able to exhibit elements of brokenness, let's say. But that said, I think that it's a solid robot, and as I've said this about the Ares, people complained about the Shock Train Ares, and at some point you have to be like, at the end of the day, it's an Ares. And the same thing is true of the Behemoth. At the end of the day, it's a Behemoth. You know, the funniest copes, actually, I've seen lately have been on this Glacier Bagliore with people talking about, you know, the only copes people have is, oh, how much did you spend? It's like, the Glaciers are from what meta? When did those come out? Well, they never had a meta of their own, really, but, like, these have been leveled forever. These could have been, you could level up 8 Glaciers as free-to-play by now. So, like, that cope just doesn't work. And it's like such a... Actually, I guess the worst cope is... It's... How does it go? It's... Playing with meta is cheating. Playing with meta is sanctioned cheating. And the problem with that is the people who make the meta also make the rules. So, no, it's literally not. And cheating because you don't like the rules of the game is just being a malevolent, despotic, petulant 2-year-old child who, like, flips the board when he doesn't like that the rules of Monopoly don't include money at free parking. So, it's a temper tantrum with extra steps. Like, grow up, suck it up, and either play a different game or learn to play by the rules. It's actually not that hard. So let's actually look at the nerfs and buffs for a minute and just talk about those for a little bit. Alright, this is the post from 5 days ago with the rebalance. And some quick thoughts about these things. The Curie. You know, the Curie isn't dead. We're going to see a lot of Curies for, like, the same reason we see a lot of Honda Civics. You know, they're like, people bought them, and they're not quite dead. So they're still out there. I would say that I can't think of a situation where I would rather have a Curie than any other robot. Let me be clarified. I'm not saying that Curie is the worst of all robots. I'm saying that in any situation you can give me in the game, there's a robot better than Curie to deal with that situation. So the only reason to use it is you have it and you've leveled it. I don't think it's dead, but it's not... I don't think it's particularly special anymore either. The Crisis decreased cooldown of stealth is one of many changes that are in this list that have no meaning whatsoever. Like the Inquisitor changes, like the Jaeger changes. The only reason to include them is to put some buffs in a list of nerfs, and I assume that's why that's there. Dagon, changes to durability, the change to shield surge, and the movement increased during shield surge, and the regen increased during shield surge. I think this is going to change the Dagon to more of a hit-and-run thing, where you're running between cover. That actually applies to the Lynx, too, which we'll talk about in a minute, where you can't really brawl it out. That's the durability changes combined with the increased cooldown on your ability. I think that you're looking at something that became a brawler when maybe they didn't want it to be a brawler, and now it's going to not be a brawler again. Inquisitor, who cares? Hades, I played the Hades, and also, who cares? Jaeger, extra deluxe, who cares? The problem with the Jaeger, they do all these little changes. The problem with the Jaeger is that it has 2 weapons, it's slow, and there's robots with 4 weapons that are faster. So unless its built-in weapon does the damage of 2 weapons, which, asterisk, you managed to actually do that on the Ultimate Destrier with the Kirk Sider pilot. So I know you know how to make a built-in weapon stronger than the standard weapons. Unless you do that, adding a 20% damage bonus to the inadequate damage of sniper mode does not make the Jaeger viable. It just makes it slightly less trashy trash. So either make Jaeger happen or stop trying to make Jaeger happen. Leech, who cares? I mean, I care about the Leech, but the movement speed, 2 km/h movement, who cares? Lynx, yeah, like I said, they're making it slower normally with a bigger bonus when you use its ability and a slightly longer cooldown on its ability. But it shouldn't kill the lynx. It's just you're gonna have to play a little bit more cat and mouse. Nightingale, hopefully you saw I ran the Nightingale. I liked Nightingale before. I like Nightingale more with the buffs. Absolutely, like, if you don't have a Nightingale, go get one. Ocho Kochi, I played it, couldn't tell the difference. It was fine. It's an Ocho, it's fine. The Raptor nerfs, much needed. This is how the Raptor should have released. Raptors are very killable now. They're still scary, but you can kill them. Revenant. You know, the Revenant released with 99% gray damage protection during aggressive blink, and then they nerfed it. And when they nerfed it, the sonic melee was kind of the meta weapon. So protection from gray damage was huge, and nerfing it to 90% was a real nerf. Well, now sonic melee is not as common, so the 99% protection doesn't give it as much help. It's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, it's a buff. But the Revenant was fine before, too, so it's like, great. Shenlu dead. Shenlu may be the only robot in this entire list where I'd say they killed it. It's a worse option than Scorpion now. The dome profile on the Aegis means whatever you teleport to is going to be able to shoot you in the face. The reduced Aegis accumulation rate, who cares? It doesn't really matter. And the increased blink interval. So now you're just going to be hanging out there. You can't teleport back when you want to. You can teleport behind someone else, who then will also be inside your shield. It gives everybody more time to notice you're there. You are so much better off with a Scorpion. So much better off with a Scorpion than a Shenlu. Alright, weapons. I haven't tried the vacuum weapons. I thought that change to reload time was going to kill them. I've seen people run them, so maybe I'm wrong on that. Let's see. Yeah, the irradiation weapons and the auto Schreier pile. Let's talk about that for a minute. There's this like popular theory that the changes to the radiation weapons were because free-to-play players were using them and they were too effective. And I have no alternative theory for that. I can think of no reason. Those weapons were some of the best tuned weapons in the game. They were effective, but they weren't broken. I can think of no reason whatsoever to change those weapons other than to deprive people who paid for them the value of them. There's no reason whatsoever. And this is, you know, as somebody who has all the weapons in the game, and it's not like this is breaking my hanger in any way. It's not like this, you know, inconveniences me in any way. I can play or not play whatever I want to play. And no, that makes no sense. There's no reason to do that. There was no reason to do that except malicious to punish free-to-play players and those who have invested in them. So I'm really annoyed. This was by far the changes to the radiation weapons was the most cynical and the most depressing, the most useless, the most destructive to actual gameplay. I can't defend it. I can't come up with a single reason why that should have happened, other than Pixonic just wants to hurt you. Listen, if Pixonic has a better explanation, I would love, if you're a Pixonic dev, or you know a Pixonic dev, or you're somebody on their community team, or you know somebody on their community team, please, by all means, explain to me what was wrong with the decay weapons. Because I'll tell you what they always say, which is, oh, well, according to our spreadsheets, they were too dominant. Your spreadsheets, that tells you how much they played the game. According to their spreadsheets, it was too dominant. Let me say that another way. Free-to-play players were using them because they were the least terrible weapons they could get. Okay? Your spreadsheets maybe don't tell you that, but I can tell you that. Horrible, horrible change, and cynical change, and gross. Just disgusting. Anyway, I do want to point out, though, the autopilot is not totally dead. The auto Schreier pilot is not totally dead because it's still usable with magnums, with spears, and with redeemers. And redeemers are still a top weapon. Very viable in Champion League. They hit very hard up close. So if you have auto and you were using it on something with heavy weapons, see if you can't. I know that like there's a big difference between melee and 600 meters, but see if you can't get some redeemers to throw in there and just see how it is. I mean, maybe I'll do it. So I'm telling other people to try builds. Okay, I'll do it. Anyway. Yeah, the Jawclaw Talon, who cares? Flux, who cares? These are they killed the Rust Rockets, and now they're like slightly unkilling them. It's not going to matter. They're still dead. The Lei Ming Fang Bao, yeah, the electric melee changes. I didn't try it. I honestly took it off because I read the numbers. And the thing that made me say I don't even want to risk it is the increased full reload time. I think they're still going to hit hard enough even with the lower burst, even with the doubled burst interval. The reduced damage isn't a big deal, but the increased reload time for me was not an acceptable change. So maybe I'll try them, but I honestly think that weapon is not going to be viable. Then again, like I said, I thought the vacuum wasn't going to be good, and people are using it. Magnetar. Magnetar is not dead, but it's like a specialty weapon for lockdown now. I think that the first Dagon I built was the Magnetar Dagon, and I think that's going to be the best Dagon now, where you're ducking out of cover and locking people down and going back into cover and letting your teammates chew on them. Increased burst interval on the Frost Rockets, nobody cares. The Rime Cryo Glacier, well, you see I've got it in the hangar. It didn't get to shine tonight, but they were outrageously powerful before, and the reload was the issue. So that is a major, like shaving 40% off the reload is major. And I haven't experienced the increased range. Maybe that's a thing now, but I didn't experience that. So they are very viable, and I really want to try. This Predator video I didn't watch. I keep missing some of these. The Frost Dagon. I want to try that. The Frost Rocket Dagon. Increased reload interval on the Fruitals, the Scotty Snare, and Hell. I've seen a couple people use them. I don't think that's going to make a difference, but maybe I'll try it. But like, 2.5 seconds is not enough of an unnerf on that. They nerfed them so hard into the ground. Everything that touched, like the Fafnir in that meta, got nerfed to death. And the Feather Destrier is still never like, you know, they nerfed the Fafnir so much, and then like that nerf, I think, carried forward to the Feather Destrier, and has stopped them from ever making that viable again. It's like, when they nerf the flyers, like the Ophion, dominant, nerfed into the ground, when the nerf for the Condor comes, it's going to be so brutal, and it's going to nerf the weapons, it's going to nerf everything that touches it, just going by history. Like, when the flyers get nerfed, they get killed. Ultimate Shock Train. I want to talk about, I mean, like I said, let's go. Spark, nobody cares. Subduer, yes, the Subduer was overpowered and needed to be killed. I think the Subduer is good now. Like, I think this is the right level for it, where it's not useless, but you wouldn't just throw one on... You wouldn't, like, make a Behemoth with, like, one Subduer and 3 other weapons knowing that the Subduer is going to stop the healing. So I think that's good. Ultimate Shock Train, yeah, they killed it. They killed it. I mean, they killed it at least... They killed the build they released. They released the Bulgasari with the Shock Train. I tried it. Worthless. Don't even bother. The Shock Trains might still be useful, but the funny thing is, the only place the Shock Train is going to be useful, in my opinion, is going to be on the Spectre. And when they announced the Ultimate Spectre as the first Ultimate Robot, they said, don't worry, we're not giving it Shock Trains. So, womp womp. I think that 50% bonus damage when it jumps is going to be what makes the Shock Train usable again. Because I just don't think they're usable right now. I've tried it. It's like, you may as well just go poke them with a stick. They don't hit at all, and they take forever to recharge. Not worth it. Titans. Yeah, the Eiffel. Oh, man. Somebody did the Godfather meme. Look what they did to my boy, you know, with the Eiffel, and I think that's correct. Was that Wolfblood or Broken Dark? One of the two of you guys did it, and I was like, yeah, that's about right. It's not the reductions on the ground, it's the reductions in the air. And I'm not even talking about the reduced damage bonus, I'm talking about the durability bonus from the flight and the duration of the flight. It's just not... No. Just no. It's better than a Miramitz, and it's better than a standard Aoming. And when we do, like, when we do Titan tier lists, I don't know if I could go any higher than that. I'll take a regular Minos over an Eiffel now. Heimdall. Oh man, so many buffs. So many buffs. Still trash. Still an absolute trash. Heimdall, I don't think there's any robot in my hangar where I couldn't take out a Heimdall one-on-one. I'm not sure I own any robots that... I guess... If you want to bring, like the Vityaz into this, the Boa into this, then yes, I suppose the Heimdall's stronger than they are. And I don't know exactly why that is. I don't know. Like, they're really trying to make Heimdall happen, and it's really not happening. So, it's like, none of these things it does are good enough to be as good as any one of those things if it was done right. So maybe to make the Heimdall happen, you need to pick one of these things and have that be its primary purpose, and then these other things will be fine, because he's got some versatility. But it's not good in any of these ways. Nodens, 3 seconds off disposal is worthless. Listen, you killed the Nodens when you killed its movement. It's still dead because you haven't fixed the movement. you could have a 1 second cooldown on disposable and the node, sorry, you could have a 1 second cooldown on disposal. I speak this language sometimes too. And the Nodens would still be trash. Because it can't move. I ran it just recently with the 4-asset shotguns. I took out a Mauler with it, and I got to a living legend on the beacon, and then I had to slowly float across the map to get a beacon. It took a minute. It took like an actual minute. And a minute's a long time when you're slowly floating towards a beacon. It was so agonizing. The Nodens is dead. Stop trying to make Nodens happen, or make Nodens happen. There's your same with Heimdall. Like, if you want these things to be viable, make them viable. This isn't it. Sharinga increasing the slowing effect of phase exile. It's very interesting. Sharinga was my first video I uploaded. It was my first real Titan that I loved. Phase exile is rarely done well. Most of the people with the Sharinga do it wrong. Most of the people with Sharinga do things that hurt their team with phase exile. Increasing the slowing effect plays well into this idea of using phase exile to stop enemy beacon caps, or to cap a beacon with an enemy standing on it. And using it to slow someone before they can get to a beacon is a really interesting tactic. The 4 people who play Sharinga well, this might actually be a good change. It's not going to make Sharinga viable, but it doesn't hurt to show a little bit of love, I guess, for the Titan. I mean, Sharinga's still trash now, but it has a power that it's kind of like the Ravana or the Leech, where it has a power that is always going to be useful. It's just no one knows how to use it. And the bot is so fragile anymore that no one can. Titan weapons, the burst interval on the Anguisher Ruiner. Yeah, they feel a little slow now, but they still hit like a truck, so I think that's a good tuning. That's a good change. Basilisk Crate, have you seen anyone use the Basilisk? I've seen some Dazzler Lanterns, and maybe like, there was like, I think one person who had like 8, or like 2 crates, and then it was like 2 crates and an Anguisher on a Bursalieri, I want to say, in one of these. Well, we'll see. Anyway. Yeah, this doesn't make a big change. Oh yeah, the Discordia Tumultus. Yeah, the homing bullets, the bendy bullets. Haven't seen people use them. So I certainly haven't tried. I assume they are very dead. Haven't seen anybody use the Gargantua Pantagruel. Like, another example of, like, we're gonna buff it. It has no meaning whatsoever, but it makes our list of nerfs look less scary. Inferno and Pyro, I do still see people use these. I haven't tried it myself. I'm concerned about the overheat there. That is a huge, huge time. So, not really sure that they're gonna be good. On drones, I have very strong feelings about a couple of these things. First of all, the time limit on the on-kill speed on Kestrel. So this was a drone that used to be the drone, the dominant drone in the game, and then it was changed in such a way that it was really only usable by like certain builds, like Lokis, you know, Pursuers, stuff that has stealth built in as part of the mechanic, Spectres, and now it's not even good for that because the benefit you get falls off after 15 seconds, so it's basically garbage. It's basically garbage. It's like, this is just, they robbed you again with extra steps. The Shy drone is the one that upsets me the most. Because reducing the duration of last stand, I don't care about the unload durability only activates once per deployment. That's probably how it was meant to work anyway, and it didn't work properly. But the reduced duration of last stand, really? Were people out there breaking the game with the Shy drone? The extra 2 seconds of last stand breaking the game, so you had to nerf it? You know, I put Shy drone on, like, you know, the shoots. On the robots that are so old they don't have module slots, so I can get a module benefit out of them, right? And you were worried that the shoots having the 2 extra seconds of last stand, this wasn't broken. There was no reason to do this, except, I don't think people run this in Champion League, honestly, other than people running old bots. Like, the only reason to do this is to punish people who had it. It's not as bad as the radiation weapons, but it's like the second worst thing you did, Pixonic. There was no reason to do it. It helps no one. It only hurts people who are trying to enjoy something. You guys are just not good at your job, honestly. And you need to stop making these changes based on spreadsheets. You don't play the game, and it shows. Yeah, and the pilots. The Zoe nerf, yeah, who cares? And I talked about the auto nerf, like, unnecessary, but you might still be able to find something to do with auto as long as you're using light or heavy slots, because you got 2 light slot weapons, the Spear and the Magnum and the Heavy Redeemer. Other than that, there's nothing in the medium slot that they didn't nerf into the ground, so I guess maybe Pixonic release, like, a medium plasma weapon would be good, like a medium version of the Spear, so at least those people who you've destroyed their builds with auto will have something they can put on there and get a benefit out of it. Yeah, let's go back to the hangar. So, those are my thoughts on the nerfs and buffs. Thank you if you've made it all the way to the end of this video. If you are a dog or cat at home alone, I'm sure you're a good puppy or kitty, and your parents will be back very soon with a treat for you. I will talk to you again sooner than it took me last time, later.